Hello and welcome to the Inbetween podcast. I'm your usual host, Joe Scombrace, and I'm joined here by Tony Tones at RT. And
I'd like to give a big shout out to our third host, my phone. We never mention him.
You'll find in the timestamps, which
Yeah.
apparently is about to run out of battery, so I might have to do a mad dash for a wall socket if we get to that point.
Yeah, I just want to quickly mention that might happen.
The Inbetween podcast now getting sued by Brendan Green.
In Korea.
In
South
Korea. In Korea.
Not North Korea.
So what to go straight into what I've been watching is I'll just mention quickly that SGDQ has just started. Summer Games Done Quick, my favourite speedrunning event, very cool. You get to see all these cool games speedrunning. If you've never watched speedrunning before, it's really interesting. There's lots of different categories, 100%, any percent, no wrong warp glitch sort of thing.
I will say that I'm not a big fan of speedruns, but I do find it interesting because I just find games I've never seen played before, or even like old Spyro games.
I love seeing games that I have played before, like completely broken and going, oh, I'm so bad at this game. Like someone can complete Ratchet and Clank in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, but they cheat.
No, it's not really cheating.
I consider it cheating.
There's different categories.
Yeah.
So there's one where
there's
it'll
like
be
glitchless
runs.
Those ones I
there's
like.
There's 100% runs.
Yeah, I don't like those.
And there's different categories based on like major glitches that completely change the run.
Yeah.
Sort of thing. But so for Summer Games Done Quick, it's always in sub chat. But one of my personal favorite streamers, TryHacks,
this part without looking
has them on the poverty chat. He's hosting Games Done Quick, and you can type whatever you want in there. Poverty chat. Let's type try hard love because we love TryHacks.
I find it weird that the emote for heart is that and not like an actual
No, that's
heart.
I have the monkey emotes.
Yeah, I just find that weird. I'm not used to it.
Because if you have Twitch Prime, you can select different ones.
Oh, really? Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's turbo versions, which is like old Twitch Prime before Twitch Prime existed.
Yeah.
Why are they all monk-essing? Serious time. Oh, he must have said, quiet guys, it's a serious moment, and they're all monk-essing. I would prefer it if you'd be quiet, monk-ess. See, this is why you need poverty chat for SGDQ. I'm surprised they don't have in the sub. And one of the spams they put memes and speedrunning go hand in hand, but post them in SGDQ and you get banned. Pepe hands.
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, Phil is a fucking bad man when it comes to sub mode and SGDQ. But I thought I'd mention that because I'm definitely going to be watching this.
What is this game though?
This game is Iconoclasts.
Okay,
that's
okay.
It came out in 2018.
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Let's look it up, actually.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in this.
This is another thing I love is sometimes I'll see a game I've never seen before.
Yeah,
I'll go, oh, this looks interesting.
That's the only thing I like about it, to be honest with you.
Iconoclasts? I'm down to my wish list. It's £15 at the moment, down from 17. Let's just watch the trailer quickly.
Is it just me or was the soundtrack of this quite expensive?
£5.
Yeah.
I don't usually buy soundtracks unless I really like them.
I buy them if they're like £1, and if I really like them, I'll maybe spend more than that. But
yeah.
But if they're offering it for like 50p to £1, then I'll probably get it.
Hmm. Oh shit!
What have you done?
Can't believe I've done this.
I do like the graphics though. That's very nice.
And it's got like a wrench.
Wait, a wrench. Right, I'm in. Right.
I'm in.
You could. Can we have you like a Steam tag thing?
Wrench in game.
Yeah.
Well, it'll be as useful as the female protagonist tag.
Yeah. I would buy like most games with a wrench in them. I think. Well, I say that.
This game looks fun.
It is great.
Is it Metroidvania, or is it just pure plat? Yeah, it is Metroidvania as well. Right. That's cool. Similar to SteamWorld Dig.
Ooh.
I did
actually have to create a new category for Metroidvania stuff on my.
Apparently, its historical lowest price was £12. I can wait for that to go cheaper. I'm gonna pick it up right now.
I might pick it up right now. Actually, I need to sell my money.
I was telling you, I bought a bunch of games on Steam, and I was telling you I don't think I'd purchased a game that was over £10.
No, I didn't even know that was a thing you did.
Well,
Do you actively do
there's
that?
an extension for Steam called Enhanced Steam, and one of the cool things about it is it has a feature where it goes to a website called isthereanydeal.com.
Yeah, they link.
And it will
Don't they link
check.
3 websites or 4 websites, do they?
So it says the current lowest price is £17 at GOG, but I think that's with a coupon code, GOG Gwent 50. How is that cheaper? I don't understand. Does that make it cheaper?
Well, coupon codes tend to add take even more money off, right?
Hmm.
But you tend to not have like a sell underneath that. But maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. Who knows?
But yeah, so it's historic. So I'll tell you historical lowest. The lowest it is anywhere on the web, and then how many times it's been in a bundle as well. So you can check that out. And I find this tool really useful when I kind of track that and I go, I can wait for this game to be a bit cheaper because of the inevitable next sale, or I can go, well, I think this is good enough and I'll purchase it. But I generally don't purchase games for over £10 just because I don't have a lot of money and I have a lot of games.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I have a lot of money. I don't have a lot of money, and I have a lot of games already that I haven't played yet. So it's pretty much just adding things to the backlog.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like spending a lot of money adding things to the backlog.
I bought 2 things that were £15 and 2 things that were £20 and 1 thing that was like £12 this summer sale.
Yeah, so we just go straight in. The Steam Summer Sale is live now from June 21st to July 5th. There's a weird new Salian games that I still don't understand what you're supposed to do and how it works, but it exists and it's a thing.
You just have to survive shooting stuff for 2 minutes. You get a score based on how many people you kill.
Okay.
What do you want to know?
Different planets. It's trash.
Different planets have different games attached to it, which you can win.
Sucks.
I liked it to begin with, but then I've come to hate it.
It's a clicker game, and every time I play it, like my hand, I get like carpal tunnel syndrome. I'm like, oh fuck, I've got to switch hands.
Can't it be a hold click? Like, if the game was like a hold click, it would be far better.
You know how it shoots out of the beam, so like, oh, if I was aiming behind this monster, it would still hit.
No. You
have to aim directly on them, otherwise it doesn't count.
I don't understand why it doesn't pierce. I understand why the other abilities don't do that, because they're I guess they are like projectiles that like arc to hit their target like a trebuchet or something. But yeah, I don't know. It's also really grindy.
Yeah.
Once you get past level 5, I don't.
Steamed hams.
Apparently, there's bosses that are going to eventually appear.
And you get hats in it as well, because of course you get fucking hats
and body armor.
And I think I got a head crab hat. And apparently, I changed like how my alien looked. And apparently, it's like if you change how the alien looked, that changes how they act or shoot and stuff. And I was like, well, that's confusing.
I don't think it does, but
that's what they said.
I think it might make minor differences. I don't think it changes massively.
I'm just gonna show people what I got in the sale quickly, in case you were interested. That's my profile. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong number.
I mean,
you can look at that as well if you want. So I got Dishonored 2 and Prey in a bundle, so it's £20, but there were £10 each in the bundle. Taco Apocalypse. I remember we talked about this before, but it's like a mixture of like Tony Hawk's skating with cars, and it's currently.
Is it good?
£1.
Oh, it's only £1. 60% off. £1.60. All your reach like both. What the fuck?
Yeah, it's like a skateboard game with a car.
What?
It just seemed fucking awesome.
That seems great.
But what was it somebody said? It's Crazy Taxi, Rogue Trip, Jet Set Radio, Rocket League, and Tony Hawk Pro Skater into a blender.
That's great. Do you know how long people have to play it, or?
I don't know. I got the End is Nigh, the brand new platformer from Ed McMillan, of course, Super Meat Boy guys. I'm really excited to try that out. I love Super Meat Boy. Immortal Redneck, which is like a FPS roguelite. I'm a big fan of Ziggurat, which was free on, I think it was Humble Bundle for a little bit. And I recommend if you pick that up if it's still available. I'm not sure.
I don't think it is. I think it's only there for like a week normally.
But I love roguelite games, so I picked that up because I've been eyeing that for a while. I got Human Fall Flat, which is like a co-op game with like weird physics. I thought that we could play that. Maybe.
Is it weird? I've only ever seen Red Letter Media play, or like the Rich Evans and bald head man?
Jack
Yes,
Picard.
Jack.
And it was because his name's Picard. Like,
Is it actually?
Jean-Luc Picard. Yeah, his name's
Whoa,
Jack Picard.
I didn't know that. Okay, and he likes Star Trek as well.
Yeah,
that's perfect.
but yeah, I thought it was really fun. It's got online multiplayer as well.
Mm.
They added it recently.
Oh, it didn't have it originally, did it?
No,
Okay,
it was originally only local co-op, but they added it because I wanted to get Gang Beasts as well because I thought that would be really fun to play, but I think it's still a bit expensive for me. It's over the £10 rules that I've set myself. Gang. Is it? No, I clicked on Gachi Gang. That's the one we want. What the fuck is Gachi Gang? Oh, it's just underneath. I thought it was a little bit too expensive. I was looking at, I was trying to get, I think with this game I was looking around the £5 mark.
Why has it only got mixed though?
I think it's recently. It used to be great, but sometimes feels less smooth and more buggy as time goes on.
Okay.
Don't
Well.
know. Apparently there was some balance changing. You cannot play with less than 4 people, someone's quoted. Oh, I didn't know that.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. Can you play with CPUs? Gachi Gang, what the fuck is this? Is he... Wait, is he jumping on dildos?
Is that what that is?
No, that's an eggplant, Twitch. That's an eggplant he's jumping on. Okay.
It looks really basic.
It's like a fucking Gachi rip-off. I don't know. Okay. See what else. Oh, I got the DLC for Jazzpunk, so it's 60p, I think. I heard mixed things about it, but it was 60p.
You can't go wrong.
And I fucking love Jazzpunk.
Yeah, Jazzpunk's great.
So, you know what Jazzpunk is? Neither do I. It's very confusing.
It's
but it's very funny.
You can play multiple times and you're still like, what the fuck did I just play?
Necrophone Games, do they have no, they don't have a new page thing that we'll talk about later.
Yes.
I picked up Bayonetta.
Okay.
I wasn't sure about Vanquish, whether I wanted to pick it up.
Well, yeah, that's fair.
But that's also £5, I believe.
I bought the Bayonetta Vanquish pack when it came out, which was like on.
But they're not doing the bundle anymore.
No.
That was my main issue. I was like, I really wanted to get these.
Because I think it was back then like £10 for both of them, so it's probably about the same now.
But we were talking about last week. Sega said they were doing a commitment to add porting old games, other games to PC, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I mean we're seeing stuff like Bayonetta and Vanquish, so I'm pleased.
I'm excited for that. Are you going to play Yakuza 0 port?
Yes.
Okay.
For sure. It looks like a great game.
So I got the Roundabout pack, or the the No Goblin pack.
No Goblin
is the name of the developer.
That's actually a great name as well.
I saw this. I didn't know Roundabout had a demo.
I think that's new.
Yeah, I think they've added that maybe recently. I'm not sure, but of course we have a spotlight of Roundabout. If you haven't seen that, I think it's one of our best spotlights. I think it's fucking hilarious.
Can I just say, if you have seen the spotlight, it gets better after that stage. It's amazing.
It's like an FMV game mixed with a incredible physics racing.
You remember we looked at them like, oh, it's got quite a small map. Like there's more maps.
never stopped revolting. As a kid.
Well, I was going to get Roundabout, and I wanted to get their other game that we think we've talked about before as well, 100-Foot Robot Golf.
I own that already.
Does it have? It has multiplayer, so people can play this.
Oh wait, my coins as well.
Yeah.
So you destroy buildings in mechs trying to play crazy golf.
Yeah.
Golf deep in the Mariana Trench. I'm your host, McAvoy. Joining me as always, my brother.
I just think this company, I think, has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
I'm following their creator page on Steam.
I like their humor is very good. It reminds me of Discord humor, if that's a type of humor.
Like the Discord app.
Yeah, yeah. Just like how they always do their updates. The humor is kind of on par with that to me. Why you whack each other?
Have you played this?
No, I haven't yet.
I have no idea how you actually play it. I just think it looks hilarious.
Yeah, I've got it installed and I've never played it.
When it was £2, I was like, I really like this company, so I'm just gonna get this as well. Because they have a page you can follow. They've only got 44 followers, so I definitely recommend following these guys on the new creator pages that we'll talk about a bit later.
Well, what does actually following them do now, though? Just give you updates on new games that come out? Or?
Yeah, like games they put out, updates they put out, and that sort of stuff.
I'll have to see how that actually functions before
I got the Zombie Army trilogy because it was £6,
What
and I
the
also saw this
fuck?
trailer where you can play as Left 4 Dead characters in it. So I was like, yeah.
I'm not feeling it. This isn't for me, I don't think.
No, it's the trilogy of games.
Yeah,
Well,
but we,
It's from the Sniper Elite guys,
yeah,
but instead of shooting Nazis,
you shoot zombies.
you shoot zombies. And
And
it has,
some of them
and it
might
has
be
co-op
Nazis.
as well, I think. Oh.
Is that a Nazi zombie though?
Guy with a chainsaw looked like a character from Killing Floor.
Yeah, they did.
The return of the X-ray kill camera from Sniper Elite.
Yeah, I appreciate these games, but it's not like a game I'd play
I
myself.
don't know. I really like Sniper Elite. I think
You know,
it's
yeah,
fun.
I like watching it. I don't like playing it though.
That's a game that's something I had my eye on for a while. It's 8% off.
Yeah, that's really
£6,
good.
So that was a good deal. Then we have. Oh, I'm going to be talking about this in a little bit because I have been playing this live. Well, I played about 2.5 hours so far.
You've test played it basically.
Because I got it on. I think the sale came out. Well, the sale came out on the
Friday. It was Friday, wasn't it?
Friday, but you couldn't buy anything. On,
Oh no,
on-
yeah.
I think it was Thursday actually. Maybe it
Was
came
it
out
Thursday?
because the day.
No, you're right. It was Thursday.
The day
yes.
it came out, that completely
Yes.
fucking crashed the servers like it does every single sale.
Me and Mike had the same problem. Was like it kept crashing our Steam client, so that's when I decided actually wait, I can use Steam on like a browser, and I have the Steam Enhanced thing. It's better. I should just use that, and it was better. But it took ages to do stuff. But...
it took me ages to get it all paid. I just put everything in a cart that I was interested in, and then when it stopped crashing, I could actually get them.
Annoyingly, I had to have because I put stuff in the cart like on the client, and then I had to then look, when I loaded it up here, I didn't remember it. I had to transfer. I had to re-add everything.
But this game's fucking amazing from what I've played.
It looks great still. So is it great at the start as well?
Yeah, really, really cool platforming mechanics.
This came out
Really funny.
This came out last year.
Came at the end of last year, yeah.
Yeah.
So it hasn't been out that long. And they said they're going to be doing some DLC
Oh really?
For it. We said about it on the podcast before.
Yeah, but yeah. I
So
mean,
I'll
it's
be
self-published
interested.
actually.
Yeah, Gears for Breakfast. I think they're an English company. There's a lot of English voice acting. The main character is a silent protagonist, and everybody else is a English accents. They might be an English company.
You have to Google search that to find out.
You want me to find out now?
No, it's not. You want to do it, but I don't think
I'm gonna do it.
you're doing it.
Founded Kingdom of Denmark. Maybe they're Danish.
Yeah.
They got a lot of English people to work on a Danish company. GG, you baited me.
I mean, to be fair, like I think that happens a lot. They have a lot of English voice actors around Europe.
Yeah, they're Danish. I got debated.
The voice actors are English,
Yeah.
or at least can speak
really.
fluently English with English accents.
Okay.
Interesting.
Then, of course, the last one I picked up was Brother: A Tale of Two Sons. I was waiting for this to go on
Dude.
sale.
Do I already own this?
I don't think so.
Oh, I do.
Yes, you do. JK. I was waiting for this to go on sale because I heard it was Total Biscuit's favourite game. I really wanted to play it. I was surprised I didn't already own it.
I'll say this right now. I prefer Total Biscuit's old best game. But
The original Deus
Yes.
Ex.
that is actually a great game.
I haven't played this. But
I like
it was
this game.
£2.
I like this game, but it's not as good. This is kind of like a. I don't know how to say it.
I haven't
like
played it yet, so don't say
a middle of the ground game, I would say.
Middle of the ground. You mean middle of the pack?
No.
Okay.
I'm combining two weird things. I don't know how other way to say it. So.
Do you want me to show the massive list of anime games you bought? Where is it?
If you want, but I don't know what half
Look
them are.
how many. I got you to get Slay the Spire. That's what I saw.
A lot of them were just in bundles, and I was like,
One
sure.
thing I
why
like
not?
is that Enhanced Steam shows me what games you bought that were on my wish list.
Oh,
like
that's cool.
Squeakers, Devil May
Like,
Cry HD.
what the fuck is weed?
Weed.
There's one called LSD as well. I have no idea what these games
You
are.
bought these games.
They were in a bundle and they're like £1, like £2 or
Anime
something.
was a mistake.
It meant my mistake, but there's
Anyway, well, I'll talk about what we've been playing this week. So it was like 3 more than 3 weeks ago, right? That I last was able to talk about games I was playing because we had the massive E3 episode, right?
Yeah.
So I have actually been playing Passepartout. I believe that's how you pronounce it.
How do you spell this?
Passepartout.
Fucking French.
Part out.
Why can't we just call it pass part out then?
No, because I'm going to pretend to be French.
Okay, well, pass part out.
Passepartout.
Passepartout. Part out.
Is a kind of a indie style sort of painting game where you open your own painting studio and you paint all your own art and you try and sell it and become a big in the painting world.
And the people walk by and they give their own criticisms of your art.
But it seems like a simple concept, but there's actually like a legit like story where you have to impress art critics, and then you move up in the world. You get better painting tools. You have to paint better pictures. It even has a Jim Sterling quote. It's endearingly.
I didn't realize they added that.
Jim Sterling. Wow, I didn't realize they had that.
There's I like Steam. I actually love the idea and thought behind the cute little game. Steam user.
It was on sale before the big sale. I was like, if this game ever goes on sale, I'm definitely going to pick this up because I think it looks really fucking cool.
Okay.
Speaking of games that barely ever go on sale, did you see that PUBG went on sale for the first time ever?
Yeah, I did see that. I'm a bit confused why. Maybe they just want more people to...
Because PUBG's been out for over a year now, and it's historically never gone on sale and has always been the top seller through all the sales, and it's now on a 33% sale.
I think a lot of mostly negative.
Recent.
Hello.
So we'll talk about this a bit later, but people are already pissed off about the battle pass they added.
And they're also pretty pissed off about the suing stuff as well. Do they not care?
I think it's mainly the battle pass.
Okay.
Sort of thing. Encountered this game like 99% of its player base did by watching Twitch streams. I'm not going to lie, spent hundreds of hours on it. It was the official release 1.0. In-game purchases, yeah. It's pretty much just it's buggy Chinese hackers. In-game purchases on a paid game. They've added the Fortnite model to a paid game, which is what people. I might as well talk about it now. I remember where I put it in the show. Here it is. So they added. That's the wrong number. This year again. So they added a game pass for the new map Sandhook, which I was talking about in an earlier podcast, which is the 4x4 map for PUBG, which is smaller, and they've now added island themed gear, but you have to buy a battle pass to get access to the content similar to how Fortnite does it. And that was a really short fucking video. It was 11 seconds long. But people are really pissed off that they had the game pass, the battle pass for PUBG when they haven't done anything with cosmetics in the game whatsoever, while still being a full paid game. And this is the first time in the history of PUBG they've ever gone on sale. So people were rightfully pissed off about that, and also the fact that they wanted them to region lock China because there were so many Chinese hackers. They didn't, and the game was really buggy.
Well, people always claim like the meme of it's an early access.
It came out of early access with the 1.0
yeah, I know.
And at the end in December of last year.
This meme still is still an early access game.
But I put 65 hours into it, and I can say I had fun in it, but I found that the game was too slow for me personally, and I went on to play Fortnite, and I haven't really looked back.
I think it's just a really bland looking map.
There's cosmetics that trash, honestly. That's been a huge problem for them. I was telling you about this, how there's a whole digital economy on Fortnite of showing off your new skin when you get it. You go, whenever you get the new skin, you go midnight when it comes out. You go into the next game, and then it's you have people crowding around you to see the new skin, sort of thing.
And that's when you know you're the big guy.
That's when you know. I don't mean to brag, but I'm kind of a big deal around here. I've got the new skin.
Then there's the other meme was you get it and everyone has the same skin because it's the new one.
You've got the new skin too, and it's everyone has the skin.
Yeah.
Another game I've been playing is Realm Royale. I started playing this with my good Swedish friends. They got me playing it, and I have been actually quite interested in playing it because it does look quite unique.
Yeah, I know. I looks again. It's like battle royale games. Like I never would really play that much of, but I like looking at the mechanics of some of the ones to make them different.
It's like a battle royale game, but the big thing about it is that you choose a class to play, which has unique abilities, and then you craft armor and weapons and abilities, which is really cool.
It's just like two big unique things with it, really.
It's also on Steam, and it's free to play, and it's made by the Paladins guys, High Res Studios, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, they've made some flops in the past, but...
I wouldn't say that they've made...
I would say... Okay.
What are you talking about, like, Tribes?
Not flopped, but I would say they've made some terrible business decisions, in my opinion.
I know people love Tribes, people actually like Paladins.
Yeah. For sure.
Like, there's a bunch of stuff.
I would argue they abandoned their old games far too quickly.
Right, I think that's a fair criticism.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. I didn't say that their games are bad or there's not many people playing them, because I know a lot of people did play all of the games you just mentioned. Didn't they make another game? Like, there's another one in the game cycle before.
Smite.
Smite, yes.
Smite, Paladins, Hand
They still
of God.
support Smite, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Smite had like that weird kart racing game as well.
Oh, yes!
For some reason.
I forgot about that.
I think it was like an April Fool's thing, maybe.
I think it was a real thing, but it wasn't an April Fool's thing, maybe. Yeah, I think that's right.
My computer sounds like a vacuum cleaner right now. It's
Well,
going
I
crazy.
thought it was launching from the runway.
It's getting pretty hot, and that's why the fans are going crazy.
Yeah.
But no, I've been playing this. I've had a lot of fun on this, actually. I didn't think... Well, I saw people streaming, and I was like, oh, that looks really fun. Some people are saying it's
horse and chickens also.
Yeah, so you can ride around horses, because I think that's a big thing where PUBG is a lot of like waiting around, and the map's so big it's really hard to get to places. But on this, the map's a lot smaller. But there's also the horses, so you can get around really quickly, and you can stay in combat and stuff really quickly. And then instead of going down and having your friend pick you up, you turn into a chicken, and you have to run around and try and avoid people as a little chicken.
Just reminds me of Fable a little bit. I don't know why.
And then you can get up after 30 seconds. And I can see like huge cosmetics in chicken skins.
Yeah,
the chicken skins are the number one monetization of this game. I don't think there's no monetization right now. Okay. They've just released it.
So basically, what they've released is everything they have, basically, which is interesting. I like that.
It's free to play, and it's like a pretty solid game. And there's no monetization at the moment.
It's not buggy or anything either. Then really okay. That's
not
good.
that I've encountered.
Well, I think like stuff like PUBG, you can like encounter like on your first game the bugginess, right? So there's nothing.
It's not like a game where I'm going, oh, I want to play this solo and get better. So it's kind of a game where I go, oh, my friends are playing this, I'll go onto it with them, sort of thing. So I haven't played too much of it.
Did the classes allow you to like do stuff together with other classes? It's like any sort of like
combos. Sort of
I get you're not maybe not like coded in combos, but stuff that's like do like consecutively to make it interesting.
Yeah, sure. You can definitely like switch classes. You can definitely all play the same class and just do that sort of thing if you want.
Okay.
I found the class I was enjoying the most was the mage, because they had kind of the most mobility and like burst damage sort of thing. But there's definitely all the classes are definitely really interesting, and they all change based on at the start of every match you pick a class, and they all change based on what abilities you want to pick up, which guns you want to pick up.
Yeah.
And any gun that drops you can destroy, and you get shards, and then with the shards you craft weapons. You go around destroying weapons, and I go around destroying all my friends' weapons that they want, so I can craft more armor for myself. But then you have like a cap of 200 where you have to go and craft at a forge. But then as soon as you start crafting at a forge, it starts sending out smoke. Every major city has a forge in it, right?
Yeah.
And then as soon as you start crafting, it sends out all this smoke, and it tells everyone on the map, hey, someone's crafting something here, and if you kill them, you can steal whatever they're crafting. But
you could also set it as a trap, like, I'll just pretend to make something.
Yeah, you definitely can. So there's a lot of like interesting things about it.
Are there any traps and things you can put down, or it's not really like that?
You can put down like I think Hunter has like a proximity mine and stuff, and the Engineer has like a turret. There's definitely things you can do to set up beforehand. As I say, each class has its own unique abilities, and it's actually pretty cool. There's one chicken skin, but you have to stream or Mixer to get it. It's really like weird how you have to get it. It's like it's called the jailbird skin, and you get like a black and white striped chicken skin, or
Right.
like the what's it called? The mask thing that's like a single.
Bandana? Oh no,
Bandana's
it's
what you wear
it's
across
the
your face.
it's the
I don't know.
I don't know the
I don't know what it's called, but
inverted bandana.
apparently, so you have to trim or mix it, and then when you get close to a victory royale, or is it whatever it's called on this game, you then go into the hype zone, which then puts
What?
you onto like on Mixer. It's like, oh, this guy's close to a win, and he goes onto the hype zone, and then that gets you the skin.
You just be at the end of the game.
You have to
in
get to the
hype.
end of the game,
Yeah.
and then get to the hype zone while somebody else isn't in the hype zone, sort of thing.
Okay.
But I think I've won one game in my 2 hours of gameplay, so it shouldn't be too hard if you wanted to do that. Of course, you can look that up if you're interested in doing that. I don't know if it's still available. I know they announced it at the PC Gamer thing when it came out, but yeah, definitely when they do cosmetics for this game, it's definitely going to be popular. Some people are saying it's the PUBG. No, not the PUBG. It's the Fortnite killer. I'm like, this is not the Fortnite killer. But it is an interesting game that has its own unique gameplay. So, like, the big thing I found is that I really like building. So
Yeah.
the fact that I can't build in this game is like a big difference for me.
Building does make a huge difference.
Somebody said disliked it and said Fortnite.
Useful. Very useful.
Someone was saying there was hackers. That was today. These are recent ones.
Yeah.
Apparently, it's a free-to-play game, so there's definitely going to be a lot of people hacking because it's going to be harder to punish them. And they made changes to forging recently. I'll have to check out the patch notes. Apparently, people don't like the patch, so that's why it's getting negative reviews. People are saying, I used to recommend this to my friends, but I won't anymore. Because
Is that big of a patch? Oh, they changed the forge.
several loot changes to the weapons that come out of the chest stone across the map. What can be crafted in the forge? Crafting legendary weapons often the first time you visit a forge allow players to increase their lethality at a rate that outpaces the armor collection. Resulting in a shorter time to kill in the mid game. Dropping legendary loot in the world, we hope, makes it more exciting to hunt for loot. Legendary weapons can no longer be crafted at the forge. Oh, that's a big change, actually. So you have to get legendary weapons from chests now. You can't specifically go and craft them, which is going to slow down how quickly you can get your legendary weapon.
So they think it was too quick, but then the people playing it were like, this is the good time.
I'll have to try that out. I'll talk to my friends and we'll try that out.
Yeah. I'm interested to see like how that actually changes anything.
I've been playing a lot of Hot Lava as well. If you don't know, it was kind of like a passion project for one guy, where it's kind of like in that zone of 3D platforming games like Cluster Truck or slash speedrunning games like Cluster Truck or some Speedrunners from Hell. But it was like a passion project for one guy who was just developing. And then Clay Entertainment, you may know from games such as Don't Starve Together,
Oxygen not included.
Mark of the Ninja.
Yeah.
Those sort of games.
Shank,
yeah. They have bought out the guy and are now helping him develop it. And I was playing, that's really fun. It's basically a 3D platforming game where you can speedrun it, and the objective is to try and go through obstacles while there's hot lava below you.
Yeah.
And that's the whole premise, and it's really fun. So I thought I'd mention that because I got that recently. The last game I'll talk about before we go into the news is, of course, A Hat in Time. I talked about this briefly before, but it's really fun. Basically, the story is you have magical hats, and you change your hat to change the ability you have.
Yeah.
And that's quite important because you go and collect pieces of yarn to craft new hats, and then you can put badges on them to give you new abilities. But the story is you have like a vault full of time, and then you drop it accidentally, and you have to go and collect all this time again, and you drop it in like a mafia town where there's like mafia guys. And then there's another planet where there's birds who are shooting a film, and you have to like go into their film sets. And that mission at the beginning, you're sneaking in, so it's kind of like a stealth mission, and you're kind of like hiding behind it. There's tons of these different cool little planets, sort of thing, where they're all their own like unique little story and stuff. And there's like tons of replayability I can see already. I think this is definitely probably like really fucking cool.
Yeah, I think most of the internet agrees with you there.
I always play games a year later that they come out that I want to say this is
Yeah.
my game of the year almost.
I honestly think we should like make maybe like a different video. There's like a retrospective of
Games
like.
I played in 2018.
Well, no, but you could categorize it like, oh, these are my top games that came out in 2017, like, but in 2018. Like you could like look back and
Because
like
like
reorder
I
your 2017
played in
list.
2015, Ori and the Blind Forest came out, and then I played it in 2016.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I wanted this game to be my game of 2015. And I think there was another game in 2016 as well that happened with that. I don't remember now.
But it's sort of like your movie sucks. So there's like retrospectives of years, like he does his top films.
Yeah, like
every year.
I think in like
1994.
recently he did like his films of 2014 because he's like, I can't watch every film.
Oh.
It can't get to December of like 2018 and go, here are the films of 2018. It's like, well, you haven't watched some of them because there's still films coming out.
Yeah.
And you can't have had time to see them all, sort of thing.
Yeah, so he's like waiting till he's seen like all the films he wants to watch from those years, and actually goes, then these are my favourite films.
Quick news, itch.io is also having a summer sale. If you want to pick up any of those games, they're mainly just indie games, smaller fan-made games. There is some other games that you'll know, like Game Dev Tycoon and that sort of stuff.
I think it's interesting to see what some of the small games are, but
yeah.
I don't find myself going to it that often. I just think it's not for me. I don't think.
But of course, it's always there if you're interested in it. I thought I'd mention Crash Bash Insane Trilogy. I was looking at the Steam controller, thinking about purchasing it. Because I think the Steam link at the moment is about £2 and the Steam controller is about £20. You get fucked hard on shipping in the UK. So they only have 2 distribution centres. One is in America and the one for Europe is in the Netherlands, and I think it's like £7 shipping. So it's kind of expensive. So I'm still deciding whether I really want the Steam Link or a Steam controller. But one of the bundles was Crash Bandicoot The Insane Trilogy. I was like, oh, is this coming out? I didn't realise this was coming out. It's coming out in 4 days, on the 29th, which is Friday next week, if you're watching this live.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. I'm definitely going to check the reviews out when that comes out and think about purchasing it. Apparently the Culling 2 exists and won't be in early access. So if you don't know, around 2016, before the Battle Royale craze, there was a Battle Royale game called The Culling where it drops you off on a planet and you would I don't think there was any guns. I think it was mainly just hand-to-hand combat.
Oh, right, okay.
And then you could get
melee stuff.
And then you got credits and you could buy supply drops, and it was quite popular on Twitch because of influencers like streamers I know. Forsen played it a lot and he streamed it a lot and it got quite popular because of that. But then it got to a point, I don't know if we talked about this, where it had 10 people playing on the servers, and then it shut down, and then apparently they're making a second one just out of nowhere. I haven't heard about this until now. But apparently they're making a second one and it won't be out in early access. They're just going to...
Is that a PUBG reference? Or is that just what people expected reference? I don't know.
It's 2 years since the Culling's first success in early access back in 2016. Something that proved that progress that didn't work out well for them, which is why the Culling 2 will not be going down the same path.
Okay.
To be honest, apart from a passionate core audience, the majority of PC players haven't seen or thought about the Culling in 2 years. True. There's a healthy time for a sequel to roll around. Don't know about that.
If you say so. If you say so.
So there will be no early access for the Culling 2, and it'll just come out when the game's finished, sort of thing. Former Telltale CEO is suing Telltale Games. So Telltale's been delaying The Wolf Among Us 2 until 2019 with vague responses where we're going to make it, we promise. But this comes at this comes when there's been multiple reports that there's been internal struggles inside of the company, and Kevin Bruner, who helped launch the company in 2004, started as the CTO and became CEO in 2015, and was forced out later the year and apparently is now suing Telltale for like how they handled him being removed from the company. Telltale is claiming the lawsuit is a meritless and merely an act of revenge. But according to Bruno, he was pushed off the board because of some internal issues.
I don't know how board and like lawsuits and things work, but I do know they exist, and you can you've can't just remove people.
I just thought it was kind of funny that the CEO of the company was suing the company.
It's like one of the founders as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, back in 2004.
Yeah, that seems. Yeah, it's funny.
Because
sad.
Speaking of people getting sued,
oh,
Bethesda is suing Warner Brothers after they claim the new Westworld mobile game completely ripped the code off Fallout Shelter. And the funniest way that they noticed this was because the same bugs that were in the early versions of Fallout Shelter are also in the Westworld mobile game.
I assume what happened was that the bugs were the red flags, and then they looked into it and it was true. I mean,
Bethesda and Bugs, name a more iconic duo. Honestly, I just found that so fucking hilarious that the way Bethesda knew that they copied their code was because they knew they had identified the Bethesda bugs in the game.
Now we know where they keep the bugs in. We know.
The Bethesda bugs are now a DMCA tool.
Yeah, it's like DRM that isn't DRM.
It's now a way that they can copyright their game. If anyone else dares steal Bethesda's bugs, they're coming for you. But the games do look quite similar. If you look at these pictures, this is Fallout Shelter, and this is the new Westworld mobile game.
Yeah,
sort of thing.
It's a neat idea, but why do they have to use their code? I find that weird.
Bethesda wants Westworld shut down and a cut of the profits. And apparently Eurogamer has contacted both of them for a comment. So we'll be reporting back if we hear more from this. The thing that surprised me is that TMZ broke this story. I guess it was because it was Warner Bros. And they're like, Warner Bros. A big TV company and film company. But it's just strange to read a news article on TMZ about video games.
Not something you would expect.
Speaking of getting fucked, not safe for work. Honeypop.
you could have put that better.
Honeypop and other adult games. This is a while ago. This was last month. Were facing removal from the Steam store. So apparently, Valve was saying that they were going to clean up the Steam store of not safe for work games with nudity in them. Like they don't allow games with a nudity patch to be on the store. And the big thing about this was because it could be to do with PayPal being a large part of Steam.
Yeah.
Because PayPal has a policy on transactions that include sexually oriented goods and services.
Which I think is a dumb policy, personally, but
so if Steam had goods on it that involved sexually oriented services on them, then PayPal would have to be removed from Steam.
Yeah,
and that would be a huge loss for Steam.
You'd have to. I think you could do it a different way, but yeah.
Well, Steam would have to have like a not safe for work.
You'd have to have it as like
a nudity sexually oriented section on Steam.
You'd have to put stuff in a basket and say this is not. You can't use PayPal for all of these items in your basket. It's a lot of work, regardless.
I thought it was really interesting that they were doing this, and then I saw the big reason behind it was PayPal.
Yeah, because we knew like Valve and Steam don't care about.
Because it started with Honeypop tweeting out that they said they received an email from Valve stating that Honeypop violates the rules and guidelines from pornographic content in Steam and will be removed from the store unless the game is updated to remove said content. Because what confuses me is that it's been on the Steam store like this entire time.
Yeah.
And Steam seems to have a policy against having pornographic or nudity on Steam, but they also have a lot of visual novel stuff with nudity in them.
Yeah.
And even having a community created tag called nudity.
And sexual content. Yeah. 2 separate tags.
Surely they would have seen this a mile off. Maybe
I only assume PayPal got contact.
Yeah, maybe they were being pressured by PayPal.
I personally though, because if you read into what PayPal's policies are, they allow.
Because apparently they stated Valve did not mention whether a complaint was resolved on, because they received a complaint.
Right.
So I'm assuming, putting two and two together, PayPal was complaining about this.
But PayPal allows if you buy pornographic stuff, like, and it gets delivered to you, they allow that. They don't allow.
Yeah, there was like.
I don't understand why you would allow something that gets delivered to you, but not something online. I truly don't understand why they wouldn't allow.
We permit only US only transactions for certain goods that physically deliver to customers, such as video, DVDs, and magazines.
Why?
But not digital goods.
Why?
If it's digital, PayPal doesn't want anything to do with it.
I think PayPal needs to update their policy and remove that personally, but that's just me.
That's a big thing in the US, not to like, allow their services to be used for this sort of thing.
I don't understand why.
It's like with films, like violence is allowed, but like nudity gets like a massive, bigger rating on film, sort of thing.
I can sort of understand that a little bit, but yeah, you would think that it'd at least be balanced. Yeah, I just think it's stupid. It's just inconsistency, as far as I'm concerned, and pretty dumb. I mean, again, my ideal solution to this, if PayPal won't do anything, is if Steam adds a way so you don't it can detect that you can't buy sexual content using PayPal. But that is, again, as you say, a lot of work. But that would be.
We'll move on
way.
to the main topics of the podcast, which are
more suing. Oh
no, Sony. Fuck Sony. Sony was facing massive backlash at E3 because of their policies on Fortnite. So if you don't know, at the moment, Fortnite's just been released on Switch. It's one of the most popular games in the world, and Sony have made it so that if you have played Fortnite on your PSN account, and then you try and use your Epic account to play it on Switch, you then cannot move it over. You have to start a brand new account, and all of your purchases are locked and levels are locked to your PSN account.
I noticed in a Reddit thing that someone asked, like, don't Ubisoft and EA have like linked accounts? And someone said that no, they're completely different because of this. So I think technically the Xbox and the PC accounts are the same.
Well, because people have been complaining for the longest time because they want Xbox and PlayStation to share.
Yeah, they want
cross-platform play between those two, which I think is completely reasonable.
Wasn't like Rocket League and then another game as well wanted to have it, but couldn't.
Rocket League couldn't. They could only do cross-platform between PC and PS4, and that was a bit weird as well. But the thing is, Microsoft saying we'd love to, and Sony saying hell no, we don't want to.
Yeah. So Microsoft looked great. After the E3, like Microsoft did really well. Like they got big. They just showed lots of games, right? So people like that, and so I think they've got a lot of positive PR from this.
But Sony have said basically they've done the PR thing of we hear your concerns. That's what they've said, while also being like, yeah, we're not
listening.
Doing anything.
We don't care though. Someone got asked, "Are you listening?" Like, yeah. I heard what you said. I just don't care.
Because they've had this criticism as well as Rocket League for Minecraft as well, because you can now play between Switch, PC, Xbox.
It's kind of weird that Microsoft owns Minecraft and selling games on PS4. Do you find it weird that like Sony's competitor sells games on their platform?
No.
No? Okay.
No, I
just find that a little bit weird.
Well, they make a console, but they're also a publisher.
Yes, I mean,
and as much as they like exclusivity, they understand that some games will make them more money in the long run. So
they want some games to be exclusive to sell the console, but they also want
but
games to sell.
This BBC Technology article follows a tweet from your boy Jim Sterling.
Really? I didn't realise that.
They sourced him. The replies... So apparently the PlayStation put out a tweet from E3 saying... showing off all their games, and it said the replies are all people asking Sony about unlocking Fortnite accounts. Good. So people are pretty pissed off about this. And
even Jim Sterling, I might add.
We had a tweet from John Smedley, the former head of Sony Online Entertainment, on why Sony allow crossplay. Well, it's since been deleted, the tweet, but what he said on the tweet was, by the way, when I was at Sony, they said the reason internally for this was money. They didn't like someone buying something on an Xbox that could be used on a PlayStation. Simple as that, dumb reason, but there it is. So basically, Sony's reason was we don't want people to buy things on Xbox and be able to use them on PlayStation. We want to keep all the money for ourselves.
Yeah.
If you have a PlayStation, you have to stick with PlayStation or you're fucked, basically. they want to
They
keep
could have at
them
least-
in the PlayStation ecosystem.
They could have warned us that they would infect your account and you can't use it anywhere.
Yeah,
else.
if you've ever played Fortnite on a PlayStation, you can't play it on your Switch
you have to
now.
make a new account.
Because like Fortnite on the Switch is actually really popular because you can play Fortnite on the go. When Fortnite came out on mobile, I was like, oh, this is kind of annoying. This is too small. The screen, the graphics are too shit.
But now you've actually got proper buttons.
But if you had like a portable version with a controller like on the Switch, I think this would be really good. And it came on the Switch and it was really cool. I think Jim Stone made a video recently saying Fortnite on Switch is like his favorite version. Like he actually plays it more than anything now.
I don't think I watched that, but yeah, I can understand why he likes some handhelds.
Well, I thought this was really interesting. People are saying, why can't Sony block Epic accounts from being used in other systems? Or they don't understand how Sony can. But basically, because it's tied to your Epic account now, because as soon as you link your PlayStation Network account to your Epic account, then it stops the Epic account being used in other systems.
I watched one of Jim's videos. It's like you try and launch it on the Switch, right, and it just comes up with like it won't work.
Yeah.
And he said, like, why don't you just put Sony's help desk thing on that link there, so everyone will just go to that and clog up their systems. That would be a good system, I think. You should definitely do that.
We'll talk about the next main topic, which is Valve, because there's a lot of Valve news this week. So Valve has just kind of released their new Portal demo. So if you don't know, they're making a second Vive, the Vive Pro, I think it's called, or something. And they're also making Knuckles controllers. So Knuckles controllers,
which I thought was stupid initially.
I actually think that the cool thing about the Knuckles controller is that this area around here, it can actually track all your fingers.
Yeah,
like this, and then it tracks grip strength as well.
Yeah, I didn't even think about any of these things,
which are really important in VR for being able to control it.
I didn't realize that at the time when I said that was stupid. Like, you make crabs.
So they're making brand new controllers for the Vive, which I'm interested to see, and they've also released Moondust, which is a Portal themed demo to show off the new features of the Knuckles controllers.
Yeah, let me understand what happened to the Moondust. I've always wanted to know that, Joe.
I love that it ties into the Portal though.
Yeah.
How you're like, because one of the demos.
That is a cool rocket, by the way.
One of the demos is showing the tactile grip thing, and you're like literally crushing rocks like they do in Portal.
Hello.
It's got full finger tracking.
There's almost flipping the bird there, though.
So you crush the rocks with the controller, and then it turns it into the propulsion gel from Portal 2.
You send it back on a little rocket.
Yeah, which is really cool.
I would say it doesn't have enough fuel. You're using some really powerful rocket fuel if you can do that. But not the launching from the moon, but getting there and then launching back.
So there are other demos where you can build your own spaceship to show like how you can do precise things now with the controller. There's also showing how you can use old school controls where you can use a remote controller to control an RC car.
I thought in the I can't remember what it's called now. Like, like there's like the Portal. I can't remember what it's called at all now. The old Vive stuff, the Portal experience lab stuff.
Yeah.
So Portal. They had like. I thought you could like do surgery on a robot.
Yeah, it was called robot repair.
Yeah, I thought that was quite precise and things you had to do, and it wasn't just kind of general and.
No, there was some like kind of precise things.
So it's more. So this is more precise than that, though.
Well, this is going to be with the new Vive.
Yeah.
And also the new lighthouses. I assume the Lighthouse 2.0, which is going to be coming out, which is pretty cool. So this will be even more precise than the original Vive.
That's good. Okay.
But we did have some footage from Valve's new network because he got a leaked copy and he modded it to work with the original Vive.
Yeah.
Without the Knuckles controllers, because of course those dev kits are just being handed out. And one thing he said was he was unable to mod grip strength, so he couldn't get this one to work when you crush the rock.
You just got a rock.
Because he has like contacts at Valve, and he said he spoke to some people, and he said there was no way to mod it. So if you wanted to use the old Vive on a new Vive game that had the gripping strength,
you know, just bind it to a button though to have maximum strength.
But there was no way to bind grip strength. So this was the other tech demo that we didn't see too much. Was basically just this Portal shoots up grenades, and you can throw grenades at targets. He said it was a huge missed opportunity. They weren't combustible lemons.
Yeah, what's up with that?
If you want to see all the footage from the new demo, you can go check out Valve News Network's video on it. I'd highly recommend that. So the first list of big changes to Steam and Valve was Steam Chat. There's a brand new beta for Steam Chat. It's the new friends list and voice features, richer chat experience, better friends list organization, making it easier and more fun to game with friends.
You've been using this?
I have joined the beta, so at the moment this is in beta. This will become the default version of the Steam Friends.
Which I think would be great.
So you've got favourites, so you can put people on a favourites list to easily talk to your friends. They can then be grouped by game, so if your friends are playing Counter-Strike Go, they'll all be grouped. If your friends are playing Dota, they'll all be grouped. And it's now rich presence, so it'll show them, say they're in a Counter-Strike game, it'll then show they're in a deathmatch game and they're playing on train map.
I think what you tried to show me last week, I think the game has to be set up to tell you these things, otherwise it'll just tell you normal information.
It's similar to the rich presence they added to Discord sort of thing. I think a lot of like the features they added now are like the group chats specifically are similar to Discord works, where you can have like servers and you can go and talk on them.
Everyone was just using Discord for the longest time and never using Steam Chat, right?
It's because the voice chat was awful, but they have actually updated it, so it's a lot better now.
I think I still use Discord for that, but
I
found just messaging people awkward on Steam before.
The one big thing is you can now embed videos, pictures, tweets, and more, which is really fucking useful. And it also has chat history, which you didn't have before.
No.
Which is really useful.
That was awful. Like you close the tab back and it's like, oh,
so you can build like these servers.
It does look just like Discord, doesn't it?
My favorite feature now is you can now have invisible mode.
Yes.
So instead of having to go offline, you can now appear offline. While still being able to message and talk to people.
Which will do nothing to my friends list, because everyone will just be invisible and it'd be exactly the same.
Yeah.
But
everyone's offline.
But it's still useful though.
Well, I've been testing this out and I can say it's really cool, and it's definitely a way better version of the Steam chat and voice and friends list than it was before. It's way more useful.
It takes some time to get used to like the layout of it, but I think
this has been teased for a little bit. Like we knew this was coming, but now that it's finally here, it's really fucking cool.
It does look good. It looks great.
Valve will officially launch Steam in China. We reported on a previous podcast they were working with Perfect World, a Shanghai-based company that they use to distribute Dota 2 and CS:GO throughout China, and I think I said something along the lines of Watakiwa Source 2.
Oh, okay.
Or something like that.
I'm sure you did say something like that.
I said like Hanzo's Ult Source 2 from Overwatch. But basically, you need to be with a local publisher like Perfect World in China in order to get your service officially supported over there because of how the Chinese firewall works. Praise the Chinese overlords.
The great Chinese firewall.
The great Chinese firewall.
Common misconception, it isn't exactly the same place as the Chinese Great Wall.
Although Steam could already be accessed in China through unofficial means, it's now officially supported and won't be blocked by the government.
I assume not all games will be available.
Some portions of the servers recently were blocked by the government. But in order to have like your game on China, you have to remove skulls or blood. That's a big thing.
Okay.
I saw in a recent Fortnite update, like the kill counter used to be a skull, but it's now a crosshair. And like you'll see like games like League of Legends, like when they launched in China, they edited the game so the Chinese version had less blood and less skulls in it. It's like a big thing in China. Like we talked about in a previous podcast how PUBG was getting in trouble because they said it was too violent and didn't respect the Chinese ideal citizenship model sort of thing.
Too many skulls.
So they say in the article on The Verge that the Steam store will be subject to Chinese censorship, and we'll have to see how Valve handles this and how they approve games for the Chinese market. One thing I will say that we saw from Steam Dev Days, where they showed market shares of all the markets on Steam, Asia is by far the biggest moneymaker for Steam. They are definitely going to appeal to the Chinese market more than any other market on Steam because there is way more money for them on Steam. It's the biggest marketplace in the
Yeah.
world, basically, Asia and China specifically as well. So
There's a lot of people there.
Yeah, there is a lot of people there.
We need more people over here, really, is what we're saying.
It's already
That's not what I'm
apparently
saying,
it's
but-
already popular with Chinese language speakers. Of last month, a Valve survey determined that just over a quarter of Steam users have their language set to simplified Chinese.
Really?
Yeah, so over a quarter of people on Steam are Chinese already. Second only to English, which sits just 10 points higher. So already Steam's going to be Steam's already massive in China, and that's officially supported. I think it's going to be even bigger, and there's a massive Asian market anyway. So that'll be interesting too, because we saw stuff like some devs talking about if you support simplified Chinese in your languages on your game, you translate your game to Chinese, you'll see like a massive influx in sales, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Like just supporting the Chinese language on your game, you get access to an even bigger market for your game, which is crazy. Another feature Steam did to update and make Steam look better was they announced developer and publisher homepage beta on Steam. We talked about this earlier on in the podcast.
Yes.
Where we showed off now publishers and developers now have their own page where they can show off all the games they make, all the games they publish, they can do updates and that sort of thing.
Apart from when the publisher takes priority over the developer.
Yeah, so we saw with Bethesda, if I want to look at every game made by Arcane Studios, I have to go through the Bethesda page now, because that's the way they've set it up. It is in beta at the moment, so that may be subject to change.
I think it needs to be changed.
You may be able to go to the original view, which was when you clicked on Arcane Studios, it would just show you.
Yeah.
It would just search Steam for every game made by that company. But so far, from the pages I've seen, they look really cool, and I think they are.
They're very good for the publisher. I'll give them that. But again, for if you want one studio that's underneath a publisher, then you kind of want to.
But I like that I can follow a specific developer and I get update about all the games that are coming out.
That is a really neat
feature. Which I am now following specific developers and publishers that I really like.
Like No Goblin.
No Goblin developer, Devolver Digital Publishing, Tiny Build Publishing, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Those are kind of like the people I'm following.
All the good ones.
Sega I'm following because I want to see their new PC ports.
You want to
specifically
see Sonic All-Star Racing too.
I want to see. I watched like 20 minutes of gameplay from E3 of the new Sonic Team Racing. I gotta say I was kind of disappointed that there's no involvement from All Stars. There's going to be no TF2, no General Winter.
It's not going to be the perfect game you wanted.
It's going to be just Sonic characters, they've said.
Yeah, I'm not.
And there's no transforming either. It's just kart racing.
It's no transformed.
No, it's just kart racing. So there's
there's
no planes and there's no boats, which I thought was really fun in Sonic All-Star Racing Transformed. But it will be team racing, so I will be interested to see.
Okay, that's interesting. Yeah.
Because you can do if me and Andy were playing it and we were on a team and I was ahead of him, I'd create a slipstream, and if he drove in my slipstream, he gets a speed boost sort of thing.
That is one thing.
And you can trade power ups between your team.
I always thought there was not enough team based racing games actually. So yeah, that's kind of cool.
Well, I think one of people's favourite Mario Kart racing games is Mario Kart Double Dash, which was like a team based Mario Kart racing game. But speaking of,
I kind of forgot that existed.
Speaking of the Steam UI overhaul of 2018, CS:GO has a brand new UI as well called the Panoramic View. It now has a brand new UI redesign beta that completely changes it. There's some pictures here, so it kind of cleans it up, makes it a bit more modern. I've heard some people really like it. There's also an unofficial dark mode version as well that people have made already.
Okay. Well, you always need a dark mode, don't you?
Mm-hmm. Apparently, this release of Panorama UI only supports practice with bots, but you can also play with a friend by joining a party and starting a practice session. So it's still an early beta at the moment, but from what I've seen, it looks really cool. So I'm going to be interested to see how this goes out and how Steam keeps evolving and developing all of its UI and coming up to date with everybody else.
You said they're ways behind.
Well, they haven't made a game in I think 5 or 7 years.
Yeah, that's true.
So this is the only thing they're doing, really. They're updating CSGO.
Wait, hang on. You're not counting the sales games. The Steam
The
sale.
Steam sale game is trash.
Yeah, it is.
They need to work on that. All the Steam sale games
Stop
suck.
making clicking games. It hurts my finger.
Yeah, it hurts I get carpal tunnel syndrome from playing your clicking games.
Also, like, you put it to hard as well. It's like, oh my god, I'm clicking so much.
Speaking of Valve and Steam having to updating things, they're now having to update things. Dutch players will no longer be able to trade CSGO or Dota 2 items due to restrictions by the Dutch Kansspelautoriteit.
Can spell.
I can't spell that, is what it says.
Can't spell. Authority.
So we talked about recently there was a new law deemed by the deemed for Valve loot boxes due to a violation of the Dutch gambling law. They've stated that they violate the law because the contents of the loot box is gambling, and then you can trade those and you can gamble with those. And they said it won't violate the Dutch gambling law if you can't trade, if the contents of the loot box aren't tradable. So they've had to temporarily make it so CSGO and Dota 2 items are not tradable anymore. Somebody also made a good point. How come TF2 items aren't affected? And they respond with, they probably should, it's just nobody's looking at TF2.
No.
Nobody cares about TF2 gambling, basically. So basically they said, due to the statement said if they're not tradable, then you're okay to have your games in Deutschland, the Netherlands. But they've said that they don't agree with the statement, but in order to keep, selling their games in the Netherlands, they're just going to change this until they can counteract this or their policy changes.
They would say they agree with this, but they kind of like spin it into like a players thing. It's like, oh, players won't be able to do this anymore. But I don't know. I don't like loot boxes, so.
Well, they said the Dutch gambling law said they would prosecute Valve if they don't implement a remedy by June 20th. And the letter didn't tell them how to remedy it.
I think that's a bit stupid. They should have said what was the problem at the very least. And then
but their study into loot boxes said loot boxes contravene the law if the in-game goods from the loot boxes are transferable. And that was their statement. So the only kind of thing that they could counteract that with was to make it so they're no longer tradable.
Well, they didn't have much time to do it, so.
But that's the end of the podcast. Should we do a Molydeux tweet?
Yes. We come abruptly to the end, as usual.
Yeah.
The news ran out.
I'm just going to read this Molydeux tweet. Imagine a game where you continuously make choices, but there is a button that you can press at any time that toggles between instantly undoing all these choices and putting them back into effect.
That's kind of cool, actually. I like that as an idea.
Okay.
Peter,
yeah, done it again.
I was a bit confused by
the wording really confused me.
What is this one? Is it like a tweet of a picture of a tweet of himself
we'll
saying?
Have to find out next week. It's the only.
It's
way.
an older tweet though.
Yeah.
Next time.
But that
Peter Molyneux tweet.
You can, of course, always check us out at And Everything In Between Podcast YouTube channel. If you can't find us, type in Between Podcast Peter.
Yes.
Peter Molyneux will help you find our channel. We've realised that I own the podcast, and I sometimes struggle to find the podcast YouTube channel because there's also a bunch of middle-aged women who talk about motherhood who get like 100 viewers from their In Between. To
be fair, I think their stuff's good as well.
Check them out.
Yeah.
There's a shout out to the other In Between podcast.
Yeah.
If you're watching this live, you're on twitch.tv/Scorn. As always, you can follow us there if you want to catch the podcast live.
Surely they know where we are, though, if they've already watched it.
They may have clicked on this by accident.
Oh, okay.
While browsing the directory.
Right. If you're here by
accident, well done. And please smash that follow button.
Please.
Tickle that subscribe button
what?
On YouTube.
Tickle? Are you sure? I'm not sure you're a qualified YouTuber.
And of course, you can always follow me at Scorn2000 on Twitter. That is the end of the podcast. Goodbye.
Bye.